Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Musically Inclined. I'm Dan Whitehead.
I am Greg St. Clair.
Patrick answered.
Sorry, yeah, I'm Patrick.
And today we are lucky enough to have Seth here from Young Poet visiting us. What's up, Seth?
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello. So this is why I shouldn't introduce things.
Well, it's I mean,
It's really my fault.
Everybody gets nervous their first time. It's okay.
Yeah, I almost like pooped my pants. I was so nervous. And then I tried to hide it in the woods.
Or just bring it back with American Summer again.
So the first time that I slept with my first girlfriend, we were both virgins, and she farted on me, and it was. I was like about to, I was about to
seal the deal.
Yeah, I was about to go for it, and then I thought she queefed, and I was like, that can't be. I haven't gone in yet. Like.
Oh man.
Anyways.
Oh man. But what was the no? I want to know more. What was the conversation?
No, I mean it just because we had talked about it before doing it, and then she was just like super embarrassed, and so we had to like stop and like build back up to it again.
You had to get back in the mood.
Yeah. She was like, she was so embarrassed, and then we had
That's
to,
really funny.
stop and be like, it's okay. And we just farted. It's whatever.
I'm glad that this story was saved for this.
Yeah.
We were talking for a while before the show, and I'm glad that this story made it onto here.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. Well, obviously, you're here to do a couple shameless plugs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what are you here to plug?
So, my band, Young Poet, who is from this Baltimore greater area, is going to be releasing an album this fall. And so I'm going to talk about that and those kinds of things and to make you want to buy it.
Okay. And where can we find it when it is out?
So it's going to be on all your major Google+, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. It's going to be available on all of those. And then also on our website, youngpoetband.com.
Okay. And we'll be including all that stuff when we upload this, so that they can find it. And
have you ever seen the YouTube videos where like they say it, like they point to where they were gonna add a hyperlink and then they don't, and you're just like, you look like a loser.
That's why I don't do video. That's why I don't do video here.
The other day, I watched my first one like that, and it was like, because it was about voice acting. I was just watching it, whatever. And he's like, if you want to know my opinion or whatever, it's going to be right here. And I was like,
there's no box.
Nothing.
What did you do?
Is it your penis? Like, is your opinion your dick? Like, what's going on?
I don't understand what you're putting at.
It's the golden rule.
Luckily, I've seen enough YouTube videos to kind of get like, he was probably going to put a hyperlink in there, but it was just, it was bad. But going back to your music, how many tracks are there? Like, let's talk about that.
Oh, well, I mean, it's going to be 10 like full songs, and then there's a bunch of like intermissionary, interlude music in it as well.
That's sweet. I love when bands do that. Like, I can't think of the group, and I can't even think of the album. I just remember my friend mentioned this one time. Like, halfway between the album, there was a track called Elevator Music, and they would just play elevator music for like 45 seconds between like the first and second half of the album.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's a lot of that kind of stuff. Because like it's obviously a rock album, but then we all have like different backgrounds, and we have a couple guests on the album as well, and they do like, the one guy does like electronic music, so there's like an electronic little dance track.
Okay.
And then we worked with a gospel choir, and so there's like a gospel little outro to a song that kind of turns into its own track. So there's a bunch of little extras in there.
And this is your first?
This is our first. Yeah, this is our first album. Yeah, we went big.
Epic.
Yeah. We were like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this big.
Beforehand, it was just like singles and stuff, right? It wasn't like a full.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we first kind of like got together, we had like 4 songs, and so we did a little EP that we didn't like even really push at all. We just wanted to have like something to like hand people at the show. So that'll probably actually get removed from Bandcamp as soon as we actually have like real music, because it didn't have album art. I think the iTunes title was like, this stupid EP doesn't even have a name yet, and then we just never named it. So, but yeah, mostly singles and covers and stuff like that. So this is our first like actual our own original music, anyways.
Okay, and you guys wrote all this stuff yourself?
Yes, 100%.
Lyrics, music, all
lyrics, music, everything. It's all us.
Really cool. Awesome. Who's like a primary like music writer? Was it all of you kind of evenly, or?
Lyrically, it's usually me. What we do this thing as a band where we'll have like therapy sessions, and we'll just kind of like sit around and be like, okay, this is the topic of the song, so we just need to like unload, and then from that I'll have a notepad and I'll just like write down any like good line somebody has, and then kind of like start to form the idea for the song that way, and then I'm the one that'll like sit at home and actually like, you know, because I sing and I'm the only one that like actually does singing or melody writing anyways, so I'll sit at home and kind of like hum it in my head and play it on an acoustic and pick out how it'll go. So lyrically it's mostly me, and the other guys will shoot me like, hey, I have this like really cool idea for a lyric that we should use.
And do you just write ideas when you're writing down the notepad, or are you also trying to okay, does this rhyme with the lyrics?
Yeah. So I kind of do both. Like I'll like start with the theme of this song is I hate this person, and then, you know, if I get a good line, I'll like kind of like square it off or something like that, and like, hey, this will actually sound good sung. You know what I mean? And also have like, you know, the plot points, I guess, that we'd like to hit in the song.
And is it normally the lyrics that come first for you guys than the music, or do you kind of like do it both at the same time so you kind of have like a general idea what's going on? Or?
We've done it all different ways. I have written out songs that have no music, and then we put the music under it. We've written out full songs without lyrics, and I put lyrics over top. So I've kind of done it all different ways.
That's cool.
There's just and then there have been times where we were writing the music and the lyrics at the same time. And I think those are the most like fully formed songs. Actually, the song that I sent you that I guess will somehow end up in this.
It's going to go at the end. We're going to talk about it, and then that's when we'll talk about it, and towards the end of the show, you can tell us where it came from.
Yeah, so that one was like, I had my Michael Jackson moment. I was sitting at work, and I was like just jamming music in my head trying to write a song. And so I wrote everything, the drums, the guitar parts, both guitar parts, the bass, the melody, the lyrics, and everything like in my head, and then like drove home like, this is really good, I don't want to forget it, and got home, and then like I had a little recording app, and I like acapella recorded in the different like parts, so then I could take it to the producer and be like, I have a song, kind of. It's just me kind of like beatboxing and literally like me beatboxing. Then like I had like the bass line, and I just kind of like doom 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 like so that it sounded kind of like a song. So that's how I wrote that one. It's kind of a wild process, but like the actual parts, we all write our own parts. So I'll, you know, when we kind of decide what we're gonna do with each section, we'll start to write our own parts around whatever key we're in, and so it's kind of it's like a you know, throwing Legos on the floor, and then like eventually it starts to build into something as you.
What a good analogy.
I was gonna say, that's beautiful.
Now, what do you find is like your biggest, like, I guess, inspiration for songs? Like, where does it kind of come from? Is it like experiences, or just kind of things you see from other people?
I mean, I get inspired from everything, everywhere. I think I could, you know, I could be in a situation and find inspiration from it. I could watch a situation and find inspiration from it. I think what we did was when we were writing the album, we were like, what should the main idea for the album be?
Okay.
And then kind of like let it trickle down.
So you go by themes when you're like,
at least
for the first album, you're doing like a theme?
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing like a cinematic theme with it. All the artwork is kind of like based off of movies, because we're all big movie buffs.
Sure.
As you all are as well.
Yeah.
So we were like, we just want a cinematic theme. So like, you know, even the main album art is like a marquee, and all my brother actually is doing like a painting for each track that we're gonna turn into like movie posters. So it's gonna be a movie poster for the track title.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, and then like the music video is going to be like Quentin Tarantino themed, and we're just, you know, kind of running with it that way. But I think that's just kind of like the visual theme we had for it. But then like the overall tone idea was like the transition from your teens into your 20s. Like pop punk is like kind of pushed towards like, you know, teens, and like I hate my parents, and my girlfriend sucks, and I just want to get out of this town, and you know, that's what pop punk is, and we're all in our 20s now. We all have like full-time jobs and support ourselves, and we were like, we want to write something that'll still make sense for, you know, somebody who's like gone off to college and is like learning how to be independent, or, you know, somebody who has moved out of their parents' house and is like, you know, learning what it is to be an adult while still feeling like you're 17 in your head.
Yeah, it's like very similar to like Blink.
Yeah.
When they were first coming out, I think that's very similar to like what they were trying to like get across the point as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So the overall, I guess the overall idea is that transition from your teens into your 20s.
That's cool.
Just because that's where we're at in life, and we didn't want to write anything immature, but we also didn't want to write out of our own league into ideas that we have nothing.
Yeah, you write what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. And for you, where did the band kind of start? Like, you were kind of explaining it a little bit before, but where did you start? Where did the band kind of come together?
So, I guess musically, I've always my parents gave us the option of we could do sports or music, and I wasn't good at sports. So I went music, and
were you just not coordinated or
No, not at all. No, and I was a really, really chubby kid as well. I've always been a bigger dude, and so but I was even when I was young, I was just super chunky, and I was so let's do music. Yeah. So I did violin for 10 years and was in an orchestra. And then I was like, music is stupid, and I hate it, and my parents were just forcing me to do it. So I quit, and then got to high school, and I wasn't an athlete, and I was pretty nerdy, so if I was going to find my stake, music was the thing, and if you could play guitar, you were cool. So I picked up guitar, and I was in a couple rock metal bands in West Virginia that were awful. They were just so bad. They were really, 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 really bad. But when you're 17, you don't really care. And
right.
Just trying to do it just to do it.
Yeah.
Just doing it is fun and
Yeah, exactly. I definitely had fun while I did it. But looking back, I'm like, oh my god, why did anybody ever listen to us ever?
It's the same thing with videos I make now. I'm still at that point where I'm looking back and it's just
oh yeah.
My god. I made that. I'm proud of that.
There was one point in my life where I felt good about that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, not so much.
Right. Yeah. That looking back regret. But after that, Young Poet kind of started from another guy and another band, and he had been kicked out of his band and was like, well, screw you guys, I'm gonna start my own thing. So he did, and then invited me to join, and two of my other friends were already in the band. And so we had one practice, and we were kind of trying to figure out our sound, and then he didn't come to any more practices for the next 3 weeks. So we just kind of sat down, and I didn't even know the second guitarist as a person. I didn't even know he had existed, and but I liked him, and so I was like, hey, do we just want to do it ourselves? And so at the time we were called Shouting Whispers, and so me being the gung-ho personality I am, printed 100 t-shirts. And then the next week of practice, everybody was like, we kind of hate the band name, so let's change it.
Mother.
You got a little too overzealous.
Yeah. And so I still have stacks of these t-shirts at home.
You hear that, people?
So yeah, if anybody wants to name their band Shouting Whispers, just let me know. I'll sell you t-shirts dirt cheap. But
by the pound.
Yeah. Just sell it by yards of fabric.
Buy a crate.
Cutting a barrel of something.
Yeah. That's funny. So then you changed the name, and it's been the same lineup since?
Well, we've changed out two musicians.
Okay.
So after we changed the name, we did our first couple recordings that I had mentioned before, and we played a bunch of shows and just kind of had fun with it. And then our drummer at the time was decided he was going to get married, and
what an a-hole.
I know, right? Why would you just decide to make a great decision?
That would probably better your life.
Yeah.
Are they still married?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
They haven't gotten married yet. They're getting married in 4 weeks.
Okay.
So,
and you're going?
Yeah.
Swear.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm actually in the wedding. Yeah. So we're still friends, is what I'm coming around.
That's good.
We're still friends, but he was like, hey, I'm not wasting time, but I need more time to work and do the whole adult thing.
Right.
And then shortly thereafter, the other guitarist was like, hey, I'm kind of feeling the same way. I need to get a full-time job. I need to, get my life going, and a band is kind of getting in the way of it. So we brought 2 other members in, and it was at that point that we kind of went from being kind of a joke knock-around band, just doing it for fun, to well, let's write a song and see how it goes. And the song turned out really well, and we were like, okay, well, let's just get serious with it. And that was end of the summer in 2014, excuse me. End of the summer in 2014 was when we were like, okay, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to make an album. We're going to tour off of it. We're going to whole 9 yards. So.
And you weirdly enough have 3 band members named Andrew.
Yes, they're all named Andrew. They're all left-handed.
Oh, wow.
That's even weirder.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And so, like, the running joke is if they find a left-handed guitarist named Andrew that can sing, I'm out of the band. So, if you ever, like, look at, like, serial killings in the future and you see that there's a string of, like, left-handed Andrews that died across our tour path, not saying that it was me, there's just a good chance.
Throw it out there.
There's a good chance if my biography is about a serial killer, not about me as a musician. You'll know why.
Yeah, so it'll be like the Dr. Dre scene they took out.
Yeah.
Of the Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta
Did we forget to put in the rape scene? Or isn't that what he was? It was a rape?
Probably something like that, yeah. I mean...
I know he like, beat a girl or something like that.
Well, the entire... Well, apparently
I don't think it was rape, but
degrading movie, but like... Or degrading the women, but...
This one woman, yeah.
And they had... I think they had it in the script, and then it just didn't make it to the...
Oh, you gotta sugarcoat that, man. You gotta sugarcoat those guys.
But
I mean, when he dies, maybe they'll put it back into some other movie and like include
Director's
that.
cut,
But he's still alive, or his image still matters to people.
Supposedly they're gonna make a sequel now.
Yeah, but it's involving like Snoop Dogg and Tupac.
Right, but they're recasting them.
I don't know why.
Like, so the people that played Snoop Dogg and Tupac in those movies aren't gonna play them in the sequel. Like, but they did such a great job.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet, so I didn't even know Snoop Dogg and Tupac were in.
They're very small parts.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of like they tease.
It's like Drive-By came and like, hey, oh, okay.
Like, oh, Snoop Dogg? Cool.
All right.
Like, oh, Tupac? Cool. But it was, for Tupac, it was somebody, like, who looked really, really like him, and then someone who sounded really, really like him, like, came in and sang over him.
Yeah, somebody who, like, put both their pictures together. It took me, like, a couple seconds actually to realize which one was.
Yeah, so, like, and then the guy who just did the voices from him, who really doesn't look like him, is now playing him in a biopic. It's
That's
like,
pretty
why
cool.
wouldn't you just get the other, like, do the same kind of thing, like, voice and, like...
That cutting's tough, though. Like, matching that up, that is tough.
Right. Well, you can just do, like, an animated biopic.
I would watch that.
I would watch it, too.
Imagine, like, anime Snoop Dogg.
No, I'm thinking more like Boondocks-esque, just like they're that animation is going to, like, biopics now.
That's kind of anime.
Studio Mirror, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be weird.
American May.
It would just be all smoky and stuff.
That's the smoky haze.
Yeah.
It's like a classic.
That's just concerts, man. When I went to Firefly and I saw him, I was there for 15 minutes because I left early to go see the Killers. But like for the 15 minutes that I was there, like the first 2, giant puff of marijuana smoke covered the entire crowd. This dude with this sign that said, "Smoke this blunt with me," and the blunt was like as thick as like a normal cigar is. Like he walked up the entire stage like, "I'm gonna smoke this blunt real quick," and then he just does like, "Oh man, that's some gangsta shit right there." It was just really, really funny.
It's not Lion anymore, right? They switched back.
Yeah, he's back to Dog. I think the reincarnation of Bob Marley left because he heard the album.
Is that why he became Snoop Lion?
Yeah, he went to Jamaica and like felt the spirit of like Bob Marley because I guess he smoked his weed or something like that. Because like you go to Jamaica and like you go to like Bob Marley's house and like there's like a giant like field of like hemp just growing.
Oh.
And I guess he had some of that and like felt like the spirit of Bob Marley in him, and there was one of those like self-righteous things. And he's like, "I'm gonna be like Bob Marley." And then he decided, I'm not like Bob Marley.
Snoop Dogg just sounds better than Snoop Lion.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've been calling you that for 20 years now. We have to call you Snoop Lion.
Like, that sounds forced.
Yeah.
It's kind of like P. Diddy. Like, he just can't decide an age.
Well,
he can
do whatever he wants. He's P. Diddy. No, actually, now he's Diddy, right?
Now he's just Diddy, I think. Yeah.
Because it was what? Puff Daddy, Puff, P. Diddy, and then like there's like Diddy Dirty Money in there somewhere in between.
You should do Diddy Kong next. That's what I want.
Yeah. Who's gonna play Donkey though? That's who's that gonna be?
That would be great. If I had a gang, I would definitely name them after the Kongs.
with Lanky and Tiny and what's the girl with the pigtails? Is she Tiny?
Trixie Kong, and then there's Tiny. There's 2 different ones.
Tiny's one with the pigtails, right?
Yeah.
And then Lanky Kong, and then what's the
Chunky Kong.
Chunky Kong, yeah.
And then what was the young from Donkey Kong Country 3?
Oh,
the young one.
I didn't play that one. The only reason I know those characters' names from Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
Which was like one of like my favorite games growing up as a kid.
And Cranky Kong.
And then like the old man, whatever the professor, mad scientist's name was, and the weird crocodiles. We used to call the crocodiles like the stink eye because his eyes were just like bulbs, like so freaking hard and like terrible graphics. N64, he's just like.
So they were all like knockoff Mario characters. Like they designed them for Mario 64, and then they were like, "Oh, these suck."
Yeah.
And then they redesigned, and they actually took Koopas out of Mario 64 for the most part. And then
you still get the shells, but like straight up Koopas.
And then Rare was like, "Oh, we'll take them because we're just gonna make a like average game that people are still gonna love anyways." Yeah. But you also need this memory pack.
Yeah, exactly. My God, that used to irk me so much because like I remember like playing like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and I get like so far in the story mode, and I come back the next day, and I'm like, stage 1. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, but what was I gonna say? And like even like Donkey Kong 64, like there was a thing where you come up to like this old like 70s like game and you play like the old like school like Super Mario with like Donkey Kong like throwing the barrels down the ladders and everything.
Okay, so to shamelessly plug and circle back around here for a second. So we write all of our music in this program called Tux Guitar, which is like MIDI instruments. So like I can write out the sheet music for each instrument, and then it'll play like MIDI versions of them. Okay. So we had this idea of like keeping those and then setting them to like chip tunes, and then releasing the like 8-bit version of our album. But we weren't sure if anybody would actually go for it.
Do you know who the Reina Kindo is?
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah.
They did that with their second most recent album, and I bought it. I was like, I'm gonna get everything Reina Kindo. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just like no vocals, just like instrumental
8-bit
chip tunes.
That's what I'll have to show you guys sometime. Like it's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it sounds like. Like the whole like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Like, all that
yeah.
weird like stuff going on. It's very interesting. You have to be like a fan of like the music and also like that time to like really get into it.
We played with this artist in Greencastle, Pennsylvania one time, and the dude, I don't know how he did it. He's a genius. He took Game Boy Colors and he found a way to like hook into them while they're playing and take the chip tunes out of the game cartridges. So like he'll plug in Donkey Kong or Mario or something like that, and he can plug them into his computer and then run them through his DJ mixing board. And he can
that's so cool.
Mix chip tunes live off of whatever game he wants.
That is so cool.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah, and he went to Europe for it. This dubstep convention was like, dude, we want your chip tunes music.
Yeah.
And literally like his desk is like the laptop and the DJ mixing board, and then like 3 Game Boys just like lined up next to each other.
I can just like picture like the sequence of scenes when you're about to go, like you just found like a wild Pokemon or like a Pokemon bounce like like that, like right before a drop. I can just like picture that happening.
Yeah, it's exactly the way that sounds.
That sounds so cool. Yeah. Oh man.
I gotta remember his name. I'll try to remember his name before this is done.
Okay.
I can't off the top of my head.
No, very cool. Very cool.
So last Sunday you guys had a gig, right, at a church?
Yes.
Yeah, how did that go?
That was a great show. We played with Forever at Last, and they're like Paramore with balls, I guess.
He's got some sack on him. Like.
Yeah. So like it's they have a girl vocalist who screams.
Okay. Is it like that? What's that? Like Bear or something? Or
I wrestled a bear once?
Yeah, is it like that?
No, nothing like that because they suck. No, okay, so...
Oh my god, that chick's ridiculous though.
The first time I saw Forever at Last, I wasn't looking at the stage. I was like having a conversation, and then I heard this band playing, and they were good. They were really good. And then I heard somebody screaming, and so I'm having my conversation, and like in the conversation I was like, wow, this guy's pretty good. And then they switched from mids to lows, which is like the ooh, you know what I mean? Like the frightening stuff. And I was like, this guy's really good. He can do both. And I look over, and like this redhead, this tall, is like, I mean, like down front of the stage, just like ripping these giant screams. I was like, who are these people? Super rad. But they, I mean, it's like it's like pop punk, alternative rock, hardcore mixed. And she sings, amazing singer, but she can also scream. Super rad, and that was a really cool show. We played in like the basement of a church. So
is it like similar to like if Sleeping with Sirens had like a female singer? A little more harder.
Probably a little bit harder because Sleeping with Sirens basically has a female singer.
The first
Kelly Quinn is like indistinguishable from a girl.
Like the first time I ever heard I think it's Let's Cheers to This album or whatever the album's called. I had no idea because my friend just tuned me into that song, so I figured I'd just get the album because I really like that song, and it was I forget what song was, but you're talking about like this girl, like, oh cool, it's a girl singing about another girl, that's awesome. And then, like you look on the live sessions on YouTube and it's like a dude and you're like, what is going on? Because he distinctly sounds like a chick.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like the opposite of that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
A chick that sounds like a dude.
All right.
I guess whatever works. Right?
Yeah. No, yeah, that was a really cool show. I had a lot of fun with them. I think mostly because I'd seen them previously, so I already knew the music. But even if that had been my first time, they're just super rad to watch.
Was it like somebody was an opening, somebody was like the main act, or was just kind of like one after the other?
Yeah, I mean, local shows just kind of like tend to stack bands up. So like we opened the show, and then the 2 touring bands played, and then 3 more locals played after. Okay. So like like your normal concert, you'll have like your opening band and then the main act. But like a local show is like a third of the time. You have 2 hours to get 5 bands through.
Right.
So. Like, it's like 20-minute sets, and you just, like, crank through everybody as quick as you can. Mm-hmm. And if people aren't going to stay, you put the main band in the middle, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wasn't that church?
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, so, like, how, I mean, like, what is that like to have that band who seems like a pretty hardcore band.
Yeah,
so the house of the Lord.
So like, and I mean, it wasn't in like the sanctuary of the church. It was like in the Sunday school rooms. You know what I mean? So like,
where the kids are.
Yeah. Like,
I'm really got a kick out of that.
Yeah. I can just imagine like one of the band members is actually like hiding his weed in like one of like the toy trucks and like I'm gonna put this here and come get it later. Totally forgets about it. The kid just finds it the next Sunday. What's this?
So like the like partitions that they have in a lot of churches, the accordion.
Yeah.
So they had those and like people were like grabbing them and like opening and closing, like cutting the room in half, and all the pictures have like like kids like artwork of the disciples on the wall, and you know what I mean, like like you have these like heavy hardcore bands like sweating on the floor, like jumping off of boxes, and like cool lights and stuff, and then like the background setting is like the 10 Commandments. It was hilarious. I mean, it was great.
Oh man, that's so.
I guess that works, right?
I mean, we've played under a carport, in a basement, in a church. We played in like legit clubs. I mean. If there's gonna be people there, you just don't say no. You know what I mean? And then just take whatever you get.
Do you normally play in Maryland, or do you kind of like circle the DMV?
The kind of like the 4-state region, I guess. West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia. In that area, we've gone as far south as North Carolina, and we've gone as far north and west as Detroit. So like
that's kind of cool.
We've done some touring out and around.
Is that just like piling in the van and let's just go?
Yeah.
Really roughing it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You eat like raw ramen, you just sprinkle.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it on it, eat it like a cracker. Yeah.
Yummy.
Where have you played in Pennsylvania? Like, have you played like the Chameleon Club or places like that?
No, we haven't been quite that far north yet. That's our next, like, after the album comes out, the plan is to start booking up that direction up through like I would like to get up like past New York up into like maybe even Maine, just like hit the Northeast, because that's like the strong punk scene right now.
Yeah.
Is up in there.
No, definitely.
So that's where we'd like to go. I think Philly. We played at a couple places. We played at Bacon Fest in Philly last year.
How's that?
It was awesome, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Like just like I think they had made 200 pounds of bacon.
Oh wow!
And just like prepared it different ways.
My arteries are clogging as you
talking.
That sounds awesome.
And then like they had these like Tropic Thunder looking "I Survived Bacon Fest" and so they paid us like $100 and gave us all these like Tropic Thunder.
That's sweet.
Bacon Fest shirts. It was pretty rad. It was a lot of fun.
No, that's really cool.
Excuse me.
You just don't say no to a gig, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're like, there's gonna be 500 people there, sweet, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know. Somebody could be in the crowd that means something,
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and that's how you get my goal is to meet 5 new people or make 5 new Facebook friends per show, and all of our band members have that goal. So potentially, if there's 20 people there, potentially we're gonna go home with 20 new friends.
Yeah, that totally pays off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you were telling us your different social media techniques for acquiring fans.
Don't tell his tricks because
don't sell the tricks. All right. Okay.
You don't want to blow his scheme.
I'll go as far as to saying the advice that I give any band is if you're playing out on tour to be thinking ahead and not thinking at the time. So like if you're gonna play out of your town, you want to be like getting in contact with people in that coming town. So even if you're the touring band, you can be bringing people in on your own.
Right.
And I'll let you know.
I mean, is that just
listeners
like, is that as far as like actually like finding like individual people or like do you contact like local music stores, be like, hey, like we're playing here, would you mind like putting your flyer in the window?
So like my normal like go ahead thing is like, let's say I booked North Carolina. What I did was I'll call ahead to any radio station that plays alternative rock or anything that's not hip hop or country basically, and just be like, hey, we're coming through. This is our show announcement. A lot of radio stations will plug you for free, just, especially if you come in and do an interview or something like that, they'll plug you for free, or if not, next to nothing, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think I paid $50 for one, plug. And so it's not, it's $50 invested because if their viewership is, 10,000 people in the area, easily 10 people will come out, you know what I mean? And that's 10 more people that are paying to see. But, you call ahead to your radio stations, and then your promoter will make a Facebook page, and I add everybody that says they're going, and then I go through their friends list and add anybody that like shows they've been to shows or things like that, and then just start, hey, my name's Seth, I'm from Maryland, and I'm coming through your town, and this is our band, and here's a link, and you should definitely come out and see us. And we've gone to places and had a better draw than bands that have been there for years, just because we, didn't think that our shit smelled good. You know what I mean? Like we were like, okay, we at least need to work and do this.
Right.
Other bands will just show up and
I mean, if you didn't have the whole band thing, that's a pretty creative way to like stalk some people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the whole like Tinder thing doesn't work out. You can just stalk people on Facebook.
I was saying, it could go bad if you weren't a band. Like if you weren't seeking.
Oh
just
yeah.
Like, come
yeah, definitely.
Hey, my name's Seth. I'm coming to your town. Come see me. And like, wait, why are we just seeing you?
Who are you again? Yeah, if you say you're in a band, people like. And I've even had Knuckle Puck message me on Twitter. Like, me directly, sent me, because I follow them, send me a direct message, and they're like, hey, we're coming to Baltimore, and we see that you're from that area, and wanted to invite you to come out to the show. And this wasn't like a spam, like, thing either. Like, one of the dudes in Knuckle Puck typed this message out to me, and I was like, I'm going to come to your show. Like, absolutely. You know what I mean? So, I mean, even bigger bands do it, and it could be the difference between having 20 kids come out to, like, a show that could be cool and having 100 kids come out to a show that would be super rad. And, if you're playing in a basement with 100 kids, which we have before, like, literally people just start getting naked because it's so hot, but it's still, like, that's an experience that you'll never forget.
So when's that show?
So, December 22nd.
Ah, Merry Christmas.
I want to... December 22nd or December 12th, we're going to play at a basement in Greencastle, actually the same place where I saw the Chiptunes guy.
Okay.
Same basement. And last time we played there, I'm pulling up my calendar to make sure I'm not lying. I might be lying. I'll have to find it again. I'll let you guys link it. Same basement, and last time we played there, we played with like a ska band. Who've opened for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and bands like that.
I love ska. That's a cool genre.
I'm so sad it died.
Yeah, well, it I don't know if it died, but it was like Smash Mouth and like Goldfinger and Real Big Fish and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. That was it. It was like a couple of bands, like ska's like Smash Mouth. It's like
OC Supertones.
Yeah. It's like a reggae pop punk mix hybrid type thing.
So any kids would make a band, and then band kids from their school would be like, well, I play tuba, can I play? And then they just found a way to make it work, and so you have this like
hybrid.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, that's really cool.
But anyways, we played there with them, a band called Mayweather, and like I think we counted like almost 100 kids. I mean, literally in a basement the size of this whole like apartment. You know what I mean? Just like wall to wall, and like when you're playing music, you get hot regardless of how many people are in the room. So when there's that many people in that small room, like literally people were just stripping naked to survive. But I mean, when you leave, like that's the kind of show you talk about for years after. Oh yeah, we played in the basement. People just start getting naked, and it was awesome.
I mean, your shows aren't as intense as like. Have you ever seen Freaks and Geeks?
I don't think so.
Well, like. Think of like a standard like punk show from like the 80s.
Right.
Like, is it anything like that intense as far as like people like crowd surfing and like pretty much whatever?
We put out a video of one of our singles at a show one time, and we've had people like get bloody noses from moshing.
Yeah.
crowd surfing, stage diving, things like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the show and the venue and how many people show up. You know what I mean? Like, we played Baltimore Soundstage for, like, 50 kids the other week. And 50 kids in Soundstage would be a great show anywhere but Soundstage. But, but, like, they just kind of line the side of the room, and so it looks super empty. So, like, nobody's going to stage dive there.
Right.
But then if you're in a basement with 100 kids, like, people are going to stage dive off of the stairs. You know what I mean? So yeah, it all depends.
It all depends on the venue, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Was the 50 kids like moshing or anything, or just sitting there?
We had a couple kids moshing. Yeah.
Was it awkward because it was like small and like the way how big the place is?
Or? So I guess when you perform, it depending on how the crowd is gonna depend on how you are. And like I've played shows where like the crowd was very disengaged and I was able to engage them. And then like that show became like us just playing for each other on stage and just like dicking around and having fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like. You find a way to have fun either way. You know?
Yeah.
Like you're already there, you're already unloaded. You might as well have a good time, even if people in the crowd don't want to. Like that's their prerogative. I know people that go to every single show that happens in their area and they're on their phone the whole time. Mm-hmm. And like if that's their prerogative, like they're gonna have fun doing it. Mm-hmm. And then I also know kids that like will come to shows and like start moshing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll mosh if nobody else is there.
Yeah.
Like they're there to mosh. It doesn't matter.
They're just like in the corner of the wall, just like ugh.
Yeah. Those kids, and obviously you don't want to pick favorites, but I'd like to play for the kids that want to get involved.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a guy that's just gonna stand there and like if I'm enjoying, I'm just like nodding my head, but like my arms are crossed the whole time, like I'm not dancing or anything.
Yeah, it looks like you're like upset by it.
Yeah,
it's like I don't really know where to put my arms.
I'm not the type of person just like start dancing because every time I dance, someone like says something and my confidence just goes down to zero.
It's so insecure.
I am.
That's how we were in Foo Fighters. We were very just like me included. I was just kind of because also we were in a small area, but it was just like.
Yeah, I mean we were like trapped. I mean, yeah, but like when they had like pretender stuff on it, like you start like
you would
cheering
like put your hands up a little bit, but it wasn't like so. Well, they did have a little bit of a mosh pit, didn't they?
Yeah, they started one,
and then it kind of died down.
And it came back. I can't even think of what song it was.
Towards the definitely after the halfway point.
Yeah, that happened. But no, when I went to Firefly, they had Cage the Elephant there, and like that was like the first time I ever experienced like crowd surfing. The first crowd surfer was this girl. She's wearing this bikini top, and all of a sudden, like guys are being guys, and like she's like trying to keep it on, and she just like screw it, and then just like takes her top off, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this music festival right now. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's worth it, right?
I think it depends on the band too, like because I've been to like Attila shows, and they're like known to be party guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people will go and have a good time. And then I've been to like All Time Low, who write like sappy love songs, and like girls are just like going topless and throwing bras on stage. It's like
I have a friend from school. Okay. I have a friend from high school who like will literally thinks All Time Low is the greatest band of all time. You picture like any like Beatles, like Rolling Stones, like basic stuff. She's like, no, All Time Low's better. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's a dedicated fan.
Like she became a Ravens fan because Alex what's-his-face is from Baltimore, and it's just like, what's going on here?
Right.
Like you were a senior in high school. It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Time to face the real world.
Well, people were like that with the Beatles and the Stones too, like that obsessive.
But like. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
I wonder what band got stiffed by the Beatles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Beatles come on the scene and it's like, the Beatles is the best band of all time, and then this band was like, but we are.
We're over here too.
Well, I feel like during that time it's like all like the jazz stuff, so like the Sinatras and like Bobby Darins and like all those kind of guys are just like, but like we're here too, guys, and like this have a fan base, but like obviously not as much as those like rock and roll started coming out.
I also think it could have been like bands like the Monkees. Now, while big, they were basically America's. Version of the Beatles.
They had a TV show. I didn't know that.
They had a TV show?
I got mono and was like stuck at home, and like from 9 a.m. until 3 is just like nothing but crappy shows on TV. But there was a Monkees TV show, and I was like,
was it like a variety show?
It was
it was like a
sitcom.
Yeah, it was like a sitcom. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies, but with the Monkees.
Or is it more like a Flight of the Conchords in a way? Something like that?
No, I mean. Kind of ish, yeah,
like, They're themselves.
They were playing themselves.
They tried everything.
Or like any like band movie on Disney, something like that.
They just tried anything they could to make the Monkees like the answer to the Beatles. Right. And like while they had their songs and they were good and stuff, like obviously you could probably name a song of theirs, but
that was the reason why they weren't as big.
They were trying too hard, too much.
Yeah. Well, like I always thought the Monkees was like a band from the '80s for like the longest time, and then like it wasn't until like my ex-girlfriend's dad like totally schooled me because I was like trying to like be like really impressive and like spit some trivia. He's like, "No, they're from the '60s." I was like, "Oh, well,
no, they're not."
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
What is their sing? Big song.
I'm a Believer.
Yeah, I'm a Believer, right?
Yeah, then ska band Smash Mouth does a cover of that.
Right.
Remember when Smash Mouth was on Kim Possible? Do you remember that? Did you ever watch Kim Possible's growing up? Was that just
you? Yeah, of course I have.
Do you remember that episode? Like, it was like during prom or something, and like Smash Mouth was the band.
I'm pretty sure cartoon?
I'm pretty sure they played like Come On, Come On or something like that. It was pretty awesome.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I want to be like the cartoon version of my band.
That'd be so cool. There was an episode of weird other cartoons, Cat Dog, where like the Beatles are like coming in, but like they're actually like bugs. Like it was like really. I remember watching like that's like really really weird. I don't know how I feel about this right now.
Green Day on The Simpsons, like.
Oh yeah,
the one guy said that was like the crowning achievement of his life. Being a Simpsons character.
That's
awesome. They've toured like 6 out of 7 continents. He was like, I was a Simpsons character and I can die happy.
That's right in the movie, right? When they're like sinking.
Yeah.
They parody Titanic. Yeah.
Oh, that was
it was a pleasure playing with you guys.
That was my first PG-13 as I turned 13 movie.
Yeah.
I saw it for my birthday. Yeah.
Mine was Dude, Where's My Car?
That's hilarious. That's such a funny movie. That's like the dummy. that's Ashton Kutcher and Sean William
Scott.
Yeah. Oh, he's hilarious too.
He's always in those kind of roles though.
Yeah. Well, he does them well, like role models and everything too. Like does really well.
I haven't seen role models in ages.
It's not FX every now and then because FX always has like. I swear they like plan out each month of like what we're going to like overplay for a month, and then they'll have like 2 like new things they'll play. But other than
what
that,
are we gonna lose
like
the rights to that we need to just start playing a bunch?
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. And like they'll have like an entire month that's just like dedicated to Marvel. It's like, oh, it's Marvel weekend. Actually, we're gonna play these movies at like 3 p.m. on like a Wednesday, but the big event's gonna be on like Friday.
Right.
It's just like, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
Use them while you have them.
I really wanted to see Iron Man 2, but I can't.
Yep, you're gonna lose them.
Yeah. Oh man. So Seth also has graciously done some music for us for the television show as we shamelessly plug our things right now.
I told you we're no stranger to it.
No.
This is a circle jerk. If you can see the room right now, everybody has their dick out and their right hand.
We're just playing
the next person.
and we're just playing toast and we're just seeing how it goes. A soggy waffle, whatever you want to call
biscuit.
it. That's so gross.
That's where the name of the band comes from.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
Oh my
absolutely
god. I've never heard that. I love them so much.
That's really good. And gross.
It's so good. It's
good. But what you're probably getting at was his album is actually going to be. I didn't tell you this, Patrick, so here's some news for you. It's actually going to be... Surprise! You're pregnant. It is going to be the soundtrack for the first season. So,
really?
Yeah, we're going to feature about a song or so in each
episode. And have overlaying like tracks playing, maybe some 8-bit stuff, whatever stuff wants to do.
Whatever we're given. Well, yeah. And so, I don't know, should we have him sign something now so that, like, when he makes it big and huge, it's like, well, we still have the rights.
I think, it's in your description, you're going to go grab that for the first episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna like go to repress the first album and then like we're gonna get something in the mail. It's gonna be you guys like, sorry, we actually own that. So LLC. Shit, why did I do that?
Why do I have to be so friendly?
No, of course not. I like the friendship we're forming right now is pretty great. It's pretty strong and really excited.
Well, we're big. I'm very big into the type of person to be like, I help you out, you help me out kind of thing, and I think that's kind of what we got going on. So.
Oh yeah, that's great.
We just came back around to circle jerk.
Right. Yeah. You're really cool. You're really cool. Oh, you stop.
Oh man, I'm sweating my balls off right now.
No, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put the song in here.
Okay.
We'll play it, and then when we come back from it, we'll talk about it, where you came from it, the kind of stuff. All right. So here.
I'm gonna.
pieces fast. We built a town from the bottom up. You tore it down, all the while singing, let's leave our city behind. You negate yourself when you demand that life would press rewind. You always told me to sell out. I always wanted to prove you wrong. Stare up into the sunset, forget about every regret. I wouldn't change a thing about the way it all worked out. We left the in crowd for something more worthwhile. You could only drag me back over my dead body. I'm a walking dictionary of genre-bending cliches. You're a negative apothecary. What was the false hope you're selling? I don't wanna die for your mistakes. Somehow I always knew it would end up this way. Stare up into the sunset, forget about every regret. I wouldn't change a thing about the way it all worked out. We left the in crowd for something more worthwhile. You could only drag me back over my dead body. We were on your thoughts, we're on the song stuck in your head. We'll leave you kicking and screaming so you can thank us in the end. Stare up into the sunset, forget about every regret. I wouldn't change a thing about the way it all worked out. We left the in crowd for something more worthwhile. You could only drag me back over my dead body. Feelings left lingering in the back of our head. Words that were better left unsaid. Thoughts that could lead us marching to our death. All over lies that we've been fed.
Okay. Ew, gross. So that was the. Is it the title? Not the title track.
No, that's not. It'll probably be one of the singles.
Okay.
Called "Over My Dead Body."
Very
If you
nice.
Didn't get that.
Yeah. It's only the chorus.
Yeah. I
What-
want to title all of our songs like Fall Out Boy, so it just has nothing to do with
Yeah.
the track itself.
Or,
nobody else in the band is okay with it.
Teenage Wasteland, where like they never say that in the Who song.
Let's get wasted. That's pretty much it. That's like the only
No,
thing
they
do
say
from that.
Teenage Wasteland.
Do they?
Yeah, Teenage
Yeah.
Waste. No,
But
it's
it
called
is Baba
Baba
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Bob O'Reilly.
They
That's
never
what I'm
say
thinking.
that in the
Yeah,
song.
right. Right. So they should have called it Teenage Wasteland.
Yes. Well,
But,
that's what most people like
yeah,
from
that's
that
what everybody
time
calls
call it.
Yeah.
But like nowadays they hear like Baba O'Reilly and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like I guess like Blue Man Group. It's all Blue Man Group's fault.
Hey, don't diss Blue Man Group.
I'm not
Awesome.
dissing Blue Man Group. I just we'll get the Bootmaker another time. I can talk about that for a while. Let's talk about the song.
It's one of the cool things. Okay, so where did this kind of come from? Where did this idea come from?
Okay, so this song is kind of about like dealing with other bands across our couple years playing music.
Sure.
A lot, like, you either run into bands that are out to do it for fun and don't really care, or you run into bands that are like kind of in it to win it and like really just want to get famous.
Right.
And they'll do anything to get famous and just kind of like lose who they are if they even knew who they were. Yeah, exactly. And so this song was kind of like geared towards bands that were like telling us, hey, if you want to make it, you need to do this, or you need to have this sound, or, you know, me and my drummer are like large dudes, you know, 6 feet plus, 200 plus. We're both bigger guys. And we've even had people like legitimately tell us like, you guys should probably like either lose weight or leave the band if you want to make it. And so like, it's just like, and like,
could you like, I don't know, screw yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like, as a guy, that's something I just never expected to hear. You know, if you're a girl, I could see expecting to hear it. Not that you should ever hear it.
No.
But like, then as a guy to hear that from somebody and be like, what?
Where do you get off?
Yeah, really. Wow.
So yeah, and you know, people telling us like, you know, pop punk and that kind of stuff is like dead, and you need to change your sound, or, you know, go fully metal or go fully this or whatever. And so
I love pop punk. It's like one of my favorite genres of music.
Yeah, and it's still kicking. Like, go to Warped Tour, and if it's not metal, it's pop punk. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just, this song was kind of like our like one beef song for the album. That was just like, listen, we're gonna
stick it to 'em song.
Yeah. And so like the song itself has parts of a lot of different kinds of music, because I wanted to show off that we could do whatever we wanted, but we're gonna do pop punk. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure.
It was just kind of like, you know, a big middle finger of like, we could sound like Sleeping with Sirens, we could sound like Lights, we could sound like Blink-182, we can do whatever we want.
But then when it hits that Relient K outro.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's real.
And if you're not crying by then.
Well, it's really important as with a first album to really establish like your sound. What you want out of it.
For sure.
That's important. Like, it's a good. So this will be your first single, you're thinking?
This will probably be the second single.
Okay.
We're working on the music video, and so our title track will be a single, and then this will be a single, and then there's another song that's like Grand Theft Auto themed.
Okay.
That's gonna be the first single.
Boats and hoes, like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, the title of the song is "Hey Cousin, Let's Go Bowling." Yeah, it's like one of those like tongue in cheek like
that's the Fall Out Boy song right there.
yeah, exactly, like the one that I got, and it's kind of about like just kind of being like an outcast loner type, and, you know, just kind of like finding yourself and what you're good at. So that'll probably end up being like the main single, and then we'll have this one and then the title track as well. And the title track is kind of like the like artsy, feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? Like that kind, you know.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is the album called?
The album's going to be called "Thriving in a Modern Era."
Okay.
Very cool.
And so the title track will be "Thriving." We decided to cut it down.
And it's a long title for a single.
Right.
Thriving for a Modern Era. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, I don't know if you said it on here or before we were talking, you were saying that you did say it on here. The songs will be like cinematic and stuff like that. And then so, Over My Dead Body. That's the one you're gonna do the Pulp Fiction.
No, that'll be the Hey Cousin. That'll be the Quentin Tarantino themed music video.
Gotcha.
This one's going to have like a kind of like a like Wes Anderson-ish.
Quirky kind of.
Yeah. Just because the song itself like changes gears like really, really quickly.
Sure. Okay.
So I think we're doing 3 music videos.
For each of the
fingers crossed. I don't like speak out of turn, but that's the plan anyway. So this one will be like kind of Wes Anderson-y.
That's tough to do.
That
could pay off pretty well.
Yeah. Like we just like I said, we balls to the wall. Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Right.
And then the Thriving music video is gonna be like Guy Ritchie theme.
Guy Ritchie, like gangster kind of.
Yeah. They all kind of have that, like, I guess that overtone. That kind of like because a lot of what we're doing is, you know, based off of like references to video games and movies and things like that. So
pop culture.
Yeah. So they all kind of have that. Like I wanted to go for like action adventure, gangster, crime, because it's something you don't see, in pop punk. It's like you just don't see it.
Sure. Can we get a superhero one?
Well,
my fingers are crossed right now.
And it's all based on like what we're able to do ourselves, because everything, production, filming, recording, we're doing everything by ourselves. So.
And then all like green screenings, correct?
We have a very big one at our school, so if you ever need a green screen, let us know. We'll
just don't want damn film it this time if you want it to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to shoot for the stars, and we'll maybe see someday what we can do.
I can shoot it, just don't let me edit it.
Yeah.
The editing is where I felt like I stepped out.
Dude, editing's tough.
It is tough for a music video.
It is.
Editing is tough to begin
in general,
with.
Yeah. In general.
As far as a music video, like
you gotta have everything sync up and
I did like a video only for like a big festival, and I had audio and I was trying to match it up, and I was just like, screw all of this. Some of these bands aren't even on time to their own music. Like I'm not even gonna do it. I'm just not even worried about it.
You're almost better off. And we just decided to do it differently, but you're almost better off doing a story with the song just playing over it, which I think is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's going to be like 75% of it is going to be like this like Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs mass story that we kind of like did that doesn't have any dialogue, so the music can play underneath of it.
That makes sense. And like I said, those are a little easier because you don't have to worry about lining them up. It's just more or less lining up a story.
Right, exactly.
So cool. I'm looking forward to seeing those. This will be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
I just got a Blackmagic cinema camera, so that's why I'm like really stoked on doing our own videos and see like if they all turn out crappy, then we'll just like actually hire.
We just got to shoot on a Blackmagic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I own it. I can use it.
Do you
forever.
think that you'll maybe like put that album like on iTunes or like some of those?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll it's definitely it'll be on iTunes, it'll be on Spotify, Amazon Music,
Google Play, probably.
Google Play.
Do people use Google Play?
I use Google Play. I haven't Android,
I've never.
So that's why I have to use.
Okay. I hear Google Play like every now and then. Like I hear about it, but like I never like.
I heard rumors about it.
Yeah. Does it even exist? Is it
it's like their Google like what's that Google Plus where they tried to be Facebook?
Yeah.
But like nobody uses that.
I didn't use that, but I use Google Play.
I still get invites for Google Plus
sometimes.
Well, I mean like Google's a monopoly anyway, so like who really cares because they're making
Google and
billions
Disney.
and billions of dollars. Oh my God,
They're gonna slave us all eventually.
Yeah,
we talked about that. We're like, what if Mickey Mouse like wins the election this year? Like, what's gonna happen?
Right.
Wait, is he running?
No, Mickey Mouse. But
Every
like in
year
the primary,
people
Mickey Mouse
write
is like
down.
fourth because they don't want to vote for anybody. So like Mickey Mouse always get like fourth place every year in like the primary election.
What happens if they're like the candidates are just that bad that everyone just starts writing Mickey Mouse, and then it's like, well, we have a freaking cartoon character one. It's like, what? Do we go to our second place?
This picture's done.
Vice President Goofy.
On a political tangent.
Yeah, no.
That's like another.
Oh, is it time to wrap this up?
Yeah.
No, but it is. For one final, final shameless plug.
Yes.
October is the plan. Fall time.
Fall. Yeah, we'll say fall.
Thriving in a Modern Age. 10 tracks. Did I get it right so far?
Yes.
Stop me if I'm wrong.
No, you're good. Doing good.
All right.
I'll let you do my job for me.
Okay. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play,
Amazon.
Yeah.
Look out for it. You heard the first one of the first tracks on it. If you like it, keep them in mind and check out their website. Buy their shit, t-shirts, cups, mugs, all that kind of stuff.
We just started. I just made a online merch store. I'm pretty pumped on it. Looks good.
Check them out. We're gonna put all that stuff in the link to this.
This time we promise. Yeah.
We promise. We said we were gonna do it last time, but we're gonna do it this time because he's here and he's watching us. So
we have to do it.
We have to do it now. We can't let it slide. But for any final thoughts, that's all I got. I'm Dan Whitehead.
I'm Greg St. Clair.
I'm Pat Howard.
And Seth, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, man.